Hey, lovers. All right, I'm just checking audio and All right, I think we're good. Hi, guys. So, I'm Nika. If we haven't chit-chatted before, what's up? And I am redoing my Friday shows. So, I've been doing Fierce, Wild, and Free radio show. And hey, Fallon. And I've decided to switch over to doing more video on Fridays. So I love video, I love radio, I love it all. But I was getting bored. I was getting bored with radio, so I decided to go back to video. So Fridays at around 10 a.m. because I'm super creative and sometimes I'm just not going to want to. So around 10 a.m. PM or PT on Fridays, we'll be doing orgasms, money, and God. So today, first show, we're going to dive into dismantling the old, like dismantling paradigms. And you might be saying like, okay, so orgasms, money, God, what do they have to do with each other? They are all these amazingly intricate aspects of our self, of our life, of our relationships, of the way that we see the world, of the way that we receive, and the way that we give to others, and the way that we simply show up in the world, right? And they are very often things that we have a lot of inhibitions about. They're very often things that we are kind of like, we shouldn't talk about this. We kind of need to keep this on the hush hush. This is not polite society type of stuff to talk about. And very often they are the things that we so deeply want to be turned on by, that we want to really feel like we are fully expressed and free, right? And we are like, how do we do this? How do we get into the space where we are just completely, exquisitely living in that space of turn on and desire and joy and just having fun with it all? And for me, growing up with the clients that I work with I have Sex Magic Women, which is coming up next month. Holy crap. And it's very much this underlying current of the way that we do everything, right? So these are three big ticket items: orgasm, sex, sacred sexuality, right? Money, like, oh my gosh, this is the stuff that we're just like really wanting to dive into. We're like, oh my gosh, I need more, I want more. And God, it's like, I want to know, like, just, I want to be in the space of knowing, of trust, of joy, of simply being fully expressed in who I am and deeply connected. Like, I want to be in that space of conscious co-creation every day, right? Like, I just want to be in that freaking space. Hey, Renee. And so if you're feeling like you have some inhibitions around these things, right? If you're feeling like you've got, okay, I kind of know what's going on. I've got, my sex life is amazing, but maybe my spirituality needs some stuff. Maybe my money is on point, but my sex life is like, wah, wah, or whatever it is. It's time to look at where can we begin to dismantle all of the things that we think we need, the way that we think we need to show up, the way that we think we need to present ourselves, the way that we think we need to receive, the way that we think we need to give. All of that, if we can begin to look at all of the old stuff that is said, okay, you need to do sex this way, you need to work your ass off in order to have money, you have to be super prim and proper in order to love God. What if we say, fuck all of that and actually allow ourselves to say, what is it that my soul is asking of me? How do I want to show up in this moment, in my body, in my life, in my relationships, in the way that I create, in the work that I'm doing in the world? How do I want to show up? Who am I being asked to be in this world, right? All of us, there's a path. There is this beautiful, intricate, beautiful, intrinsic path for us. And the more that we are able to allow ourselves to let go of who we think we need to be, the more we're able to actually explore the path that is here for us, right? So we each have medicine inside of us. We each have this um, this yummy elixir, right, of our past experiences, of our knowledge that we've, the things that we've studied, the things that we've learned, our ancestral, like the DNA, the stuff that's just like really encoded in us. We have all of these things, our desires, our wishes, our dreams, all of it kind of, it combines, right? It alchemizes into the person that we are in this moment. And then if we can go and say, what is it, right? Like right here, right now, what is it that I'm being asked to do, to be? And I can look at all of the things that have brought me to this moment, right? Then I can say, hey, Fallon again, then I can say, okay, all of the stuff that should, right? I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should look this way. My body should look this way. My hair should look this way. I should speak this way. If you've got a business, most of the people who connect with me, who online, my business, all that stuff, they are creatives. They're visionaries. They're these indigos and crystals. They are spiritual thought leaders. These people who are here to shake up the freaking world, right? And so we're like, if I can look at all the stuff that's like a should, versus all of my experiences, all of my desires, the person that I'm here to be, how do I actually look at the truth? Right? So the shoulds, they try to get you to be this mold that society likes, right? You fit really well with shoulds. Okay. I should have, this kind of body type if I'm going to be a speaker on stage. I should have this kind of appropriate message if I want to write a book. I should have X amount of money. Hey, Jen, I should have X amount of money if I want to start a business, run a business, have these things. I should have this kind of a relationship if I want to teach others about relationships, right? I should have all of these things. But if you can actually look at those as all being complete and utter bullshit, right? And instead begin to look at, okay, so all of the things that have happened in my life have brought me into this moment. And if I am in this moment for a reason, and that reason is so that I can actually walk my path as I am, not as the shoulds, not as my parents want me to be, not as my family wants me to be, not as whatever else is out there, right? I can then actually begin to live my truth. I can actually begin to dismantle all of the things that have kept me living small, that have kept me living as someone who is afraid. And you might say, like, I'm totally not afraid. And guys, you have a chat box down below. So any questions that you have, if you kind of swipe over your screen, you'll see a little chat. So go ahead and pop any questions in there, any comments, blah, blah, blah. If you're like, oh my God, I need to come on screen with you, then let me know and we'll try to finagle that as well. And I totally lost. Yep, no, I totally lost it. Totally lost the stream of thought. So I want you guys to really think about inhibitions, because the way that we love, the way that we make love, the way that we allow our partners into our lives, the way that we receive and experience pleasure, the way that we share our message, the way that we, if you already have a business, the way that we receive clients or customers or members or whatever it is, the way that we relate to our families and our friends, all of these things, right, are colored by our inhibitions. Now, oh, I remember. So being afraid, if you're like me, you're probably like, I'm not afraid. Like I'm good. I'm pretty good, right? Like I'm chilling home. I'm good. And that fear is this really, it's like this very niggling, deep rooted thing that stress that you might not notice is there. It's deep seated. Fear does the same thing, and it begins to worm its way into the way that you're showing up, the way that you're creating, the way that you make love, all of these things. It's very sneaky. And so if we look at all these areas of our life and we're like, what are the inhibitions? Where do I feel like I might be able to kind of break free just a little bit more? You can look at those, and there's probably some sort of deep-rooted fear that you maybe are ignoring, or it tends to show up as something else, and you kind of think it's like, oh, this makes perfect sense that I wouldn't start to book stages right now because I want to lose that last 10 pounds, right? It makes perfect sense that I wouldn't write this book now because I need to still go and get that other certification. It makes perfect sense now that I wouldn't be getting all of the clients or the customers or whatever it is, or, creating the business that I desire because I need to I need to get my message absolutely perfect so that I can call in the right tribe, right? And it all makes sense. It all sounds good. It makes, it sounds good on the outside, right? And it sounds good when you're telling yourself these things. And also, there's probably some sort of a deep-rooted fear that's disguised as all of these things that make sense externally. This deep-rooted fear that is causing you to stay in a space of inhibition rather than this beautiful, just expansive beingness, right? Like if we can allow ourselves to say, what if it's all just bullshit? All the stuff that I'm telling myself, what if it is? Like, what if it's not my truth? What if the way that I'm showing up in the world is not actually my truth? What if I am living from the shoulds? What if I am allowing myself to be in this box? Right? So if we want to have like the most mind-blowing, epic, multiple orgasms in our life, if we want to have these beautiful multiple streams of income and have complete and utter economic freedom in a way that fully lights us up and gives us ease, if we want to have exquisitely intimate relationships with ourselves, with our body, with God, with universe, with soul, with the way that we create, with our partners, with our family, our friends, with our tribe, right? All of this requires us to be in that space of open expansion rather than that constricted energy of living in our inhibitions and our fears. So does this make sense? I hope this is resonating for you guys. And we're trying this out on Zoom instead of on on Facebook or something like that. And like I said, this is my new shift. Rather than doing the radio show on Fridays, if you were a fan of the radio show, don't worry, I'm going to be putting it up onto my website. So there'll be a page, maybe 2 pages with all of the old episodes, so you'll be able to listen in. So no worries there. But I just felt I was bored and I needed to like really just spice things up for myself and really get into this more more kinesthetic, like touchy-feely, yummy space with you guys. So I don't know that we'll stay on Zoom. It might stay on Zoom, but I will play with it. But we will be going live on Fridays. So this is just a quickie today. I kind of let people know at the last minute because, that's kind of how I am sometimes. But be sure to stay tuned for next week. Next week will be at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday, and we'll be diving into something new. So if you're not on my email list, make sure you are. You'll get the notifications that I'm about to go live. You can download my free The Rewilding Ritual at nikacarly.com/ritual, or you can take my free Wild Woman Untamed Archetype quiz at nikacarly.com/quiz, and those are 2 ways that you can get onto my list. And I might come up with some other way to get on my list. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you. Oh, you rock. Thank you, Jen. I might come up with some other way that you can go and just get onto this show page live. I don't know. We're playing. We're musing, and we'll see what comes through. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. So thank you guys. This is super quick. I don't see any questions or anything. I know a couple people hopped in and out. So this is kind of how it's going to go. If you guys come in, if you have questions, I'll just be musing, and I will probably be putting this into audio and at some point getting it up on iTunes. So you guys, if you prefer audio, it will probably be going up on iTunes at some point. And yeah, if you guys have any questions around orgasms, money, and God, then please be sure to invite your friends, come on every Friday, and shoot me questions. You can DM me on Insta. We'll see you guys next Friday at 10. And yeah, I love you. Thanks so much for being here, and have a beautiful morning, evening, whatever this is for you. And I will see you guys soon. All right. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones.